Hello there, and good afternoon, and welcome to New York City for the live signing event of the Operator book. My name's Tom O'Neill. I'm very proud and pleased to be here with my younger brother Rob, the author and the man behind the book, The Operator. And we'd like to welcome everyone to our live online signing. And welcome to the program, Robert.
Thank you for having me. Welcome to it. We're going to sign some books and answer some questions and have a pretty good afternoon, I think.
Yeah, tell your friends online right now, theoperatorbook.com is your chance not only to order your copy of this book that comes out officially tomorrow, but also to ask Rob a question. Rob, as many of you know, is the operator, one of the operators on a Navy SEAL team that took out Osama bin Laden. And although that's not really what the whole book is about, this is
an interesting book, and it's about life. The title, The Operator, is called that because this is the life of the operator. I was an operator. A lot of the SEALs I worked with, they were operators. Rangers were operators. Special operations operators. And this is just, it's not a book about a specific mission. It's about life. It's about how you can do anything you want as long as you stay positive, avoid the negativity, two huge things, and never quit. You can do. I'm a guy from Butte, Montana. We didn't exactly grow up swimming, and I joined the Navy to become a SEAL without really knowing how to swim, and just staying with it the whole time. It's stories about the attitude, about avoiding the negativity, getting through training, getting to SEAL teams, meeting the other operators, the bonds that we created, and just our relationships with each other through 9/11, to the missions that we did before 9/11. A lot of the training before 9/11, then after 9/11, how we adapted to what was going on in different theaters. We started off in Afghanistan after 9/11, went into Iraq. We ended up doing stuff in the Indian Ocean, had to rescue some mariners from Somali pirates, and then inevitably to bin Laden's compound in Pakistan, and even a few missions after that. That wasn't the last mission, but it's all about, it's a story about getting through, completing your goals, getting through life, and just never quitting. Life starts right now.
Well, your never quit mantra is not at all just related to your military service. It's about every aspect of your life and the way you approach things.
Yeah, the never quit, and the positivity. Negativity is not going to get you anywhere. Positive attitude. And I am going to be signing these as we go once in a while, just to prove that.
That's what happened. We are going to be signing some books. As Rob signs, we have some questions that have already been submitted that we're having. In fact, let's start out with the one right now from Eddie in Thompson Station, Tennessee. He asked, what was your favorite motivation sign from Buds?
Motivation sign. I think what kept me motivated, again, with the theme of the book about avoiding negativity is I had a very motivational instructor in there. I didn't mention his name, but he's in there a few times, and he said, right before Hell Week actually, was you're about to go to war for the first time, and the enemy's all your doubts, all your fears, and everybody you know back home that told you couldn't do this. So,
and there were quite a few people.
A lot of people.
You came out in Butte, Montana in 1996 and said you were going to become a Navy SEAL. A lot of people were skeptical, to say the least.
Yeah, they said it's going to eat you alive. You can't get through the training. Nobody does. He even said, regardless of, the instructor told us, regardless of what you've heard, people have made it through this course, and you can be one of them. But you got to learn how to achieve a long-term goal, and so the motivation there was a lot of the instructors, because even though they were very intimidating, almost these Buds instructors are almost like superheroes, and you look at them as that. They made it through the training. So these are walking symbols of success that beat the crap out of you. So that's fun.
Another advice from Dakota in Forsyth, Georgia. What advice would you give to someone who's about to enlist in the military?
To enlist in the military, I always tell people, get better at pull-ups. There's a few major workouts that you're going to need to do. Pull-ups, for some reason, are always that. Just get better at pull-ups. Don't run in boots, because it's just going to break it down. You'll have plenty of time in the military to do that. And then when you're done not doing that, do more pull-ups. So just get better at them.
So the key is pull-ups.
Pull-ups, yeah. And I've had people tell me before, especially that want to be SEALs, yeah, I'm taking cold showers every day to get used to it. Horrible idea. You don't get used to it. Something that we say in SEAL training is just embrace the suck. It's going to suck when you get there. Just don't do it to yourself now. Basically, if you want to be a SEAL, take warm showers. You should be just fine.
Something you're not going to get used to, I wouldn't imagine. Andrew from Melrose, Massachusetts, he asks, in your opinion, what is the most important thing to know for a young man that wants to go into Buds?
Again, like I just mentioned a second ago, one of the most important things is to realize people have done it. Don't follow the loudmouth. You're more capable than you think you are, but the guy there that you think is the tough guy is probably going to be the guy that quits first. And once he does, I call it sympathetic quitting. They think because someone is so much better than them and they can't make it, then now why can I make it? So some advice that I was given was don't make any friends until Wednesday of Hell Week. Because when you get to Wednesday morning when the sun comes up, you're probably going to make it to Friday, which means you're going to finish Hell Week, which means your chances of getting through SEAL training are better, which means the guy next to you on Wednesday is probably going to make it, so be friends with him.
It was very good advice.
So try to get to Wednesday. I guess that's good advice for life.
Well, it very applicable. Your thoughts on Chris Kyle from Joseph in Orrville, Ohio?
Chris Kyle and I never did meet. I've heard stories of him, obviously. He was a SEAL sniper. SEAL snipers, I've got a lot of stories in the operator about snipers. Their job, as opposed to what a lot of people said about them being murderers, they're actually lifesavers because they're the ones that watch the Marines patrolling block to block in places like Fallujah, like Ramadi. Like I even say in the book, there are men and women out there with much more dangerous jobs than we had. Like we could fight on our terms. We could pick the missions and turn down missions, and still now there are people out there. I mean, the 20-year-old Marine walking through the minefield. You know, the Marine going back for his buddies in the gunfight. The Air Force patrolling with the Army. The Rangers out there. So snipers are just like an Overwatch. They're a force multiplier. So that's what Chris Kyle did, and he did it really well. And he's a Texan. They wear great boots and can shoot, which is cool.
A question I think that you're going to really like from Martin in Middleburg Heights, Ohio. Can I buy you a beer sometime?
Yes, right now. We're not going to publish the address, but I'll find you. Can you put that over there?
Absolutely.
Can you multitask with me a little bit here?
Multitask.
All right.
Moving to a question from Don. He just has Don from Lawton, Oklahoma. God bless you and your family. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you for saying that. That's not a question, but bless you as well. I appreciate that.
Jamie from Cedar Hill, Texas. This is very interesting. At any given time after a shot was fired, did you ever regret it?
No. I was fortunate enough to have never... I hit what I wanted to hit, and I was never in a situation where it was questionable. It was either bad guys or good guys. I can't even think of a shot that I didn't take that I regretted. We were fortunate enough to be very precise at this SEAL team where the people, even though there were times that we would go places and it would be what we would call a dry hole and no one was inside, when we would capture terrorists and interrogate them, or they call it battlefield questioning, I guess now, we would always remind them we're not here by accident. They didn't send us by accident. So it was never it was always someone that wanted to kill my team and me, or someone that wanted to kill other coalition forces patrolling the area. So no, I didn't. No, they were bad, and they brought us there.
Jung from Everett, Washington asks, do you have advice for mental toughness, and what is your faith?
Advice for mental toughness. That's a good one. I mean, I think that goes back to just the knowledge and the belief that you can do anything you want. When people they talk about SEAL training and they'll say that BUDS, basic underwater demolition SEAL training, is called BUDS. They say it's mostly mental, and a lot of people say that, but mental toughness is talking yourself through the broken toe before you start Hell Week, through the shin splints and the bad knees and the bum back and carrying the boat, and talking yourself through the physical stuff. But once you realize that you can talk your body into doing anything your mind tells it to, it's kind of it's I guess you kind of need to live it to believe it, but you're a lot more capable of doing what you think. Even with Hell Week, that's Hell Week. If you're not familiar with it, we woke up on Sunday. Every SEAL goes through it. Some SEALs I know actually went through it 2 or 3 times, so good for them. Yeah, I would. Yeah, but you wake up on Sunday and you're pretty much awake around the clock until Friday, doing Navy SEAL stuff, wet and cold and miserable, and they almost make you do it just to teach yourself that you can keep pushing it, you can keep moving forward. And there's a point in the book that I mentioned where we actually were on a mission to assist my friend Marcus Luttrell, who's the lone survivor. We're on top of a mountain, and it's like, this is why training is so hard, because we're in the middle of Afghanistan. I'm like, if we wanted to quit right now, where are we going to go? We're here, we're fighting. Like, we got to find this guy. So it's I don't know if I went answered the question there, but that was kind of, and the faith thing is more of a personal question. I don't really get into they always say don't talk religion or politics. It's hard not to, but.
Scott from Austin, Texas. Robert, thank you for your service.
You're very welcome. I appreciate that.
I was curious what separates an operator in DevGru to take that next step from to the teams, and if the mentality is never quit, how do operators who don't make the selection take that kind of news?
Getting to DevGru is a unique step because it's the next level, and you need to take the step potentially because these are guys. SEALs are they're special operators, Navy SEALs, Green Berets. These are really, really tough guys. They're always successful, and the chance to go to a place like DevGru or our Army's counterpart is kind of rolling the dice again. I'm going to gamble with it because I might be the guy that didn't make it for whatever reason, performance, attitude, injuries. You might not make it, and then there is kind of I'd rather not go there. I've done enough, but the guys that go there and don't make it through realize that there's nothing wrong with that, and they actually learn from it. Some guys try it and go back again and then make it through. You're not going to learn from not failing, and people will fail. As long as you don't quit. I always hear the term no fail mission. It's a grain of salt because there are times in life where you're going to fail, but failing is one thing, quitting is another. So. It's a big step to always go to the next level, but I was happy with the move, and the guys that I met there were some of the best people I've ever met.
Timothy in Delaware asks, how has your SEAL training helped you outside of the military?
I can drive a car faster. No, it's a good one. It's good. The training itself to be there is really good, but also the teamwork, the ability to work with other operators as a team, having a common goal and reaching success together based on hard work. And what was kind of cool about a lot of the places that I worked is we were always in competition with each other. Like, this guy's an excellent shot. I can't wait to be better than him. You don't undermine each other. It makes you better. You don't go in there and badmouth. So you just learn in life that you can manage stress. Getting shot at helps you deal with, well, I guess there's nothing like getting shot at, but. I think the only thing now that really stresses me out is traffic. In New York, that's not
a... William from Heartland, Wisconsin, he doesn't have a question. He just says, I'm not going to bother you with a question, but I'm a Vietnam vet, and I served for 22 years in the Air Force as a crash and rescue firefighter and helicopter crew member going out to rescue downed crews in an unarmed HH-43B helicopter.
Wow.
And he's got two sons. Both of our sons are career Army. Gavin is his oldest. He just retired after 20 years. He was an Apache pilot and then finished his career as an HH-47G Chinook pilot with his 160th. He says you may have been one of his customers a couple times.
Yeah, I think so. No, that's just awesome too. And any Vietnam vet, I always tell them thanks for their service because they weren't treated as well as we are now. And I think a lot of people in the country, the nation realizes they didn't treat the Vietnam vets well, and because of that, we get treated better. So thanks for your service and your family service. My God, they're doing everything.
He has another son too, his youngest, Jared. He's right now a major with numerous tours under his belt.
That's awesome.
They thank you for all you've done.
That's a kick-ass family. Thanks for your service.
The Glassow family, very, very proud to have them as part of our show here today. This is an interesting question, Curtis, in Rochester, Minnesota. Because you shot bin Laden, do you get a lot of threats or negative feedback from the Muslim community?
I haven't gotten a lot of threats. You'll see them occasionally. The short answer is no. Not really. And the feedback that I've gotten from my Muslim friends has been positive, because Al Qaeda, ISIS, bin Laden, we're not portraying the positivity of Islam. So I haven't met many people face to face that have anything negative. So no. Let's keep it that way.
We have a Marine, Patrick from Orange, Texas. Great job taking out the trash.
Semper Fidelis. I love Marines. Marines are they're truth tellers and they're problem solvers.
And then guy from our neck of the woods up in Lewiston, Idaho,
cool.
William, as a person who wrote a blank check payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including one's own life if needed. I thank you, sir, for your service to this great country. That's from Mr. William Faust. He's retired
Thank
U.S.
you
Army.
for saying that. Thank you for your service. Awesome.
Jonathan from Nebraska. Jonathan in Bellevue ordered a book for his brother-in-law who's currently going through SEAL training.
Oh,
What advice do you have for him and his future career? But he bought 2 books. One's for him, one's for
That's
his.
really cool. He's going through training, so the advice is keep going. I don't know what part he's in, but like I mentioned, Hell Week. I talk about that in the book too. I mentioned Hell Week. That's not SEAL training doesn't end there. Your chances of getting through are a lot better, but there are different tests every single phase. You start off with the first phase is all physical. The second is diving. So a lot of physiology, dive physics, dive tables and medicine and all that good stuff. And then explosives, electric, non-electric, a lot of technical stuff. Whatever part you're in, just don't rest on your laurels. You know, you can't quit no matter where you are. Keep pushing forward, and tomorrow will come. And I think some of the best advice I ever got was if you're going to quit, which you'll think about, don't do it now, just do it tomorrow. So you get to tomorrow and like, well, I'll just quit tomorrow. I'll quit tomorrow. Some guys do though. Monday, Hell Week, there's a lot of bells ringing.
Kyle,
one of them.
Kyle from the Windy City. What does it feel like to be one of the most dangerous humans on the earth?
I wouldn't think about it that way. I think that I was fortunate to work with some of the best people in the world. I think that the guys that I worked with, the other operators, the other shooters, they were so good. We were so good as a unit at what we did is that it made us very precise. We were deadly when it needed to be, but I think the precision is a good word. Just to be a part of a high-performance team, that's one thing that I miss. People ask me if I miss being in the Navy, and it's always I miss the guys. The team. The team was just incredible. All of them.
Derek from Boca Raton, Florida. This is a great question. What's been more of a challenge, your life before or after you shot bin Laden?
I've been more focused, I think, now, just because some of the story coming out, some of the appearances on television and things like that. I'm in more of the limelight, and I travel a lot more. I'm flying a lot more, and they're both a different kind of a challenge. Like before, it was a challenge of carrying a heavy log for 6 straight days, heavy boats on your head for 6 straight days, and now it's dealing with airports and long lines and people and. I don't know. It's hard to say. Equally challenging, but if you don't have a challenge, what's the point? So just keep moving forward.
If you could change one thing in your naval career, what would it be? And this comes from Joseph from Brandon, Mississippi.
Looking back on it, if I had to go through Hell Week again, I think I would just probably try to be a pilot. I mean, that's cool, right? We always joke with my friends in like my naval aviator friends, like, Navy pilots, second coolest job in the Navy. Pilots are awesome. They saved our butts a lot.
Russell from Henderson, Nevada. What is your favorite weapon?
Probably the H&K 416, which is an updated version of the M4, 5.56 millimeter, anything with hollow points like that. The AR-15 for home defense, I think. As far as pistols, it would be a Sig Sauer. Just 'cause I'm so used to using the 226. Just everything makes sense. I've shot it over 1 million times, so those are probably my 2 favorites.
David Hauer out of Springfield, Ohio. How did you prepare to become a SEAL team member?
Get dumped. No, again, like we were saying earlier in the show, pull-ups. Good physical shape. Don't get too big and do more pull-ups. Be able to. I would recommend everyone being able to run at least 5 consecutive 7-minute miles, faster if possible. And then when you're done with that, try to knock out some pull-ups. We're really hitting the pull-up thing today. I'm telling you, it's just good advice. Everything that you do, you got to figure. Almost everything you do involves this motion. Like you're climbing somewhere. You're going to something. You're climbing the ladder. You're getting to the high ground. You're moving up. And then they make you do pull-ups in SEAL training. And if you really are dying for extra attention, go to SEAL training and don't be good at pull-ups. You get all the attention you want.
How many could you do going into buds?
Going into buds, I could, and I'm not kidding. I had long arms. I wasn't good at. I could probably do 12 going in. At the height, I could do between 42 and 50, which I mean that's when I was like in really good shape and young. So no, I'll tell them try to be able to. You want to be able to do 25 pull-ups in a row. It's just it's good biz.
I got Tom Ad from Tom's River, New Jersey. He wants to ask, do you want to go surfing sometime?
Absolutely. Even though I have no big desire to get back in Mother Ocean, I'd love to learn how to surf. That's just cool.
I've got Barry, who's presently living in Denver, Colorado, in the Rocky Mountains.
Cool.
You're going to like this. Happy you made it home. I grew up in Whitehall, Montana.
No kidding.
Yep. Very proud of your accomplishments.
That's very cool. Whitehall's right next to Butte, Montana. That's our hometown in Butte, Montana. That's awesome.
You played in their gym.
We did. Oh, we lost to them there. That was a big loss for us.
It was.
A lot of my friends were on that team too. It was a good team. It was fixed. It was rigged. The refs were both from Whitehall.
They had Mike Franich on their team.
They did have Magic Mike Franich, the unluckiest man in the world. Glad we give him a shout out. Hope you're still alive, buddy.
Hey, Mike. All right, James from Bristol, Connecticut. As we have, what was your favorite training evolution during your time with the teams?
It had to be, we called it CQB at the time, close quarters battle. They changed it to CQC now, close quarters combat, because people need to change stuff because they need to get promoted or whatever. That's the tactics where you see the SWAT teams come in, SEALs come in, Army, Special Forces, when they come into a room, clear the space, save the hostages, eliminate the bad guys, and it's always that dynamic movement because they're very basic movements and protection of each other, but it always can vary based on whatever you see. It was just so cool to be doing that kind of stuff anywhere we went. So we could do it in houses, in buildings, on ships, outdoors. Just the feeling of being with a team, covering each other's back, being very, very good at what we do, and it's never the same thing. It was never like some evolution. Like the 2 mile swim is the 2 mile swim. It's get in and suck it up. Try not to get eaten. But CQB would always switch it up. It was always you could make it, you could switch it from, all right, this time we're not going to talk. Nobody talk. Let's see how fast we get it done. Next time you're playing heavy metal as loud as you can. See if you can get through with all that stuff. And that's just in training. Then you do it for real. I mean, that's just a different kind of adrenaline. That's one thing I miss too. When people ask me if I miss it, it is creeping up on bad guys' houses. There's some adrenaline there that it's hard to, you can't buy it. I mean, you can. It would be like I wouldn't recommend going.
All right, we're up to the 22 questions in 2 minutes portion.
Okay.
All right, we're going to fire some off.
Let's do it.
Who inspires you the most?
Winston Churchill.
Wow. Who could you trade places with if you could?
Michael Jordan.
Who is one fictional character you'd like to meet?
Willy Wonka. I just saw the thing. Yeah, never mind.
It's on Broadway.
Long story. Chocolate.
Golden tickets. Who makes you laugh the most?
Jim Jeffries. Willy Wonka.
All right. Who is the most unexpected person in your phone?
Kid Rock.
Who's the last person you called or texted?
Charlie Sheen. He's also unexpected.
What one thing do you need to have in your fridge at all times?
Water.
What is your favorite pastime?
Redskins football. Did I have to play it or can I just watch it?
Just watch it.
It's hard to play and cry at the same time. Not for them.
What's the greatest thing about living in the USA?
The ability to do anything you want, the freedom that you have here.
What is your favorite professional sport?
Football.
What's-
NFL.
NFL.
I will watch European football, but we can't call it that here. It's called soccer. Not over there. Sorry for just.
What's the last gift you gave or received?
I don't know. I don't know. Chocolate, I think. It was Easter, wasn't it?
It was.
I'm going with chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yes.
What
That's
item?
That's two chocolate things. That's pretty good. I'm starting to see a theme.
What item would you love to get your hands on if it went up for auction?
God, that's a good question. I'm drawing a complete blank on this.
We'll come back.
There's got to be all kinds of stuff there that I would. Yeah, I don't know why I can't think of that.
What was your favorite movie as a kid?
The Exorcist. No, I had a bet. I have a friend in the SEAL teams named Jocko, and he said, "We're going to watch this every day till you're not afraid of it." That was 15 years ago. I'm still afraid of it.
What was your first memory of life?
Falling out the window at our house. I remember that. You pushed me.
I pushed, yeah. Okay. What was your favorite movie as a kid?
Didn't I just answer that? Have you? Have you ever had deja vu? What?
Have you? What cause is dear to your heart?
Veterans issues, transitioning veterans, helping them out and get from the military to the private sector. My foundation, Your Grateful Nation, that I helped found, does just that.
Tell me a little bit about that, about Your Grateful Nation.
I got out of the Navy just under 17 years, and you need to do 20 to get a pension, and it was difficult. The thought of it was difficult to get out. I didn't know what I was going to do, and a lot of veterans do that now. And I saw them do it, and getting in the private sector and realizing there are some skills that employers want. I'm able to help them with that, introduce them to people, and then help veterans transition. So that's near and dear to my heart. Anytime I get the email that says, we just transitioned Sergeant so-and-so to this company, or one of the pilots that we had. That's there's nothing better than that. Anything, that's near and dear. That's a serious answer.
What's the last movie you saw in theaters?
Oh man, I don't know. I was gonna go see Rogue One and I never did. I saw that on a plane. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I went to a movie.
What's one skill you wish you had?
Flying. I mean, like a plane. Or flying.
Do you have any hidden talents?
I can shoot free throws. Yeah, my record is 105 in a row. I still don't think you believe me.
I believe you.
It was in the gym by myself. I'm kidding.
Where do you see yourself?
I can sing karaoke.
You're a piano player too.
I can a little bit, not.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Probably in Florida, golfing. I figured it'd take 10 years to at least get decent. So far, so good. Golf was recommended by my psychiatrist to relieve stress.
You need a new psychiatrist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And a new driver.
Where do you want to go that you've never been?
Australia. Never been there.
Where would you like to spend retirement?
Florida.
And how do you take your coffee?
That joke is writing itself. Hazelnut creamer. What's the one we missed? The last theater one?
Last theater movie.
I can't remember what I saw in the theater last. I really can't. I don't know. There was one other one I couldn't answer.
Who makes you laugh the most?
No, I said Jim Jeffries.
Oh, Jim Jeffries.
Yeah, he's good. What was it? Oh, if I could buy anything at auction.
Yes.
The Declaration of Independence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again,
framed or not framed?
we do have copies of Rob's book, The Operator, online right now, theoperatorbook.com. Also, still taking questions off the internet. Let's find some more questions here as we... Other than the Bin Laden raid, this is from Matt in St. Louis, what one mission made you realize that what you dedicated to becoming a SEAL was all worth it?
When we assisted with the lone survivor, that was Operation Red Wings. Some snipers got trapped in the Korengal Valley. 3 were killed. Marcus Luttrell was captured, sort of, and it was the first time that I saw a coalition. We had everybody up there. There was a lot of Rangers. I think they were the ones that actually pulled him out. There's us, Green Berets, more Rangers, Air Force, every branch of the service, and being up there on the mountain, the reality that we're in Afghanistan. This is for real.
Man. We have a question. This is from Matthew in Joliet, in Illinois. What single incident frightened you the most while you were deployed?
Oh, while deployed, something else came to mind in training. I don't know. I can't think of the single most. There's nothing wrong with being afraid, first of all, too. Just don't panic. It might not be single most, but I do recall the first mission I did in Afghanistan, my first deployment. I kind of believe the hype about how bad it is, and there's suicide bombers everywhere, and everyone's a bad guy. And the thought of stepping on mines and things like that, it takes time to get used to combat, but the realization there are real people that are trying to get on with their lives in a war zone. That was probably, I remember there being the most concern about something might happen. And then it was looking at my my bosses, I guess, the guys that had been at the SEAL team I was at longer, watching how cool they were under that supposed pressure, and just thinking, you know what, I kind of want to be like him. And watching how smooth they were. But I remember the first time going out thinking, what do I do when I run into a suicide bomber? And then the first time you do run into a suicide bomber, you're like, that was fast. So it's a crazy world.
That's unbelievable. Jessica in Garden City, Missouri, she asks, is the Bin Laden mission your crowning achievement of the teams? And if not, what was?
It probably was just because of the profile of it, but again, just to see just the layers that made it all possible. You know, we were the end state. We were guys that were told last about it. It's the analysts that found him. It's the and that's a huge piece of all these people dedicating their lives to find him, and then to watching the pilots that took us in, the air crew, just the professionalism, and then watching how my team performed on the ground on a one-way mission. Like, it was a mission we all agreed we probably weren't coming back from. To watch how cool they were at the entire way up, thinking that's just a cool guy. I'm with cool guys. I'm with operators. So I would have to say yes. I mean, it was obviously the most high profile. So I'll go with that for now.
Yeah. Trudy from Euclid, Ohio, she says she doesn't have a question, but just wants to say thank you for having our backs and the excellent work you've done. I'm proud to be an American.
That's awesome. Thanks for saying that.
And also Eric from Rancho Santa Margarita, California, not a question, just a thank you.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
Good question from James in Edmonds, Washington. What was the most unexpected occurrence that happened during a mission?
Running into a camel on the second floor of a building with no windows, and almost so close to his face that you're wondering, both of you, how did you get in here? The camel. Terrifying. I thought it was a tauntaun. Because I mean, it's dark and it's the whole face.
Oh my goodness.
These are good questions.
Sean from Chula Vista, California. Can you tell us about your Grateful Nation, what led you to start
Yes.
it, and what do you hope to accomplish through
Right,
it?
Your Grateful Nation is the foundation I started, like I said before, because I didn't do 20 years in the military, didn't retire, and didn't get benefits. And it was a difficult process. And I've actually run into guys now that want to transition, and they actually said, I would rather go to combat than to look for a job, because at least combat, I know what to expect. This is terrifying.
Wow.
Yeah, and these are combat vets, but so Your Grateful Nation finds companies where they want to work, where they want to live, and we give them individualized support, a mentorship program. They teach these people because they already have the skills, that, like I mentioned, the stress management, the teamwork. But the one thing the employers are saying now is loyalty, because you really can't teach loyalty, and these guys have it, these men and women. And we're always trying to get more women involved with it too. So we help them transition. We help their families. They get a second career, and it started off as let's help the veterans get jobs. Now it's let's help your company get better, because we're giving you access to a lot of these people you normally wouldn't. So that's what we do. YourGratefulNation.org. It's a great cause. Great people are involved.
Joseph from Miller Place, New York. He wants to know, when did you know it was time to leave the service?
After we did the Bin Laden raid, I started to think about, part of my issue was I stopped getting adrenaline. We were getting in fights, there was no adrenaline. I was worried about complacency, because if you get complacent, it's going to hurt you. And so I decided right after that I was going to leave. But we had a helicopter get shot down in August of 2011, and I needed to stay for another deployment. But I knew after the Bin Laden raid it was going to be time to go.
Well, speaking of the Bin Laden raid, Mark from Ogden, he asked, was there a different feel to the Bin Laden raid than the other missions?
No, it was. I mean, the feeling was like we said. We accepted the chance of dying, the very, very high chance of dying, because of the victims of 9/11. So we knew we were going to do that for them, and so just going there with that acceptance was more of I'm just going to. This is historic, and I'm going to take it all in. Just the overwhelming pride in the guys that were there. They were so cool. So we knew this was it, so we're going to do the best we can. And then we finished, and then we got in a helicopter, and then we left. And then it's like, wow, 50 more years of life, hopefully. So that was something.
We'd like to thank everyone for spending time with us this afternoon. Again, I'm with Rob O'Neill. Robert O'Neill, the author of The Operator, which is available right now online at theoperatorbook.com. My name is Tom O'Neill. I'm very proud to be Rob's older brother, and we are down to our final question this afternoon. From Milford, Michigan, Bruce asks, how do you keep going when average people would quit?
You need to find something that motivates you. You need what's your end state, what's your goal, and not your end goal. What's the short-term goal you had to get to your end goal? Who told you couldn't do it? Think of them and do it in spite of them, but staying positive. That almost sounded negative, but just avoid the negative. Haters gonna hate.
Again, thank you everybody for your
much.
time this
Appreciate
afternoon. Check us out along theoperatorbook.com, and we thank you for your time this afternoon. Rob, thank you for your service.
Absolutely, I appreciate you coming for this. Awesome.